name is Sarah. Welcome to the It is a Sarah podcast. Today it is Monday, January 12, 2026, and in this episode I want to share my handwerk perikelen, which is a Dutch word for my creative adventures from this week with you. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I make my episodes in Dutch and in English, so be sure you pick the right one. Okay, let's start with what I'm wearing. It's an oldie. It's actually, I'm pretty sure, my first ever hand-knitted cardigan I made myself. No, I'm not pretty sure. But I think it is. I made it in 2018. It's a little bit dark. We are living in January and I forget every year how much the light, or actually the light which is not here, influences my joy of filming. It's quite a challenge. I have an extra light, but it's weird. So I think it will last for a few weeks and then the light will come back in spring. But it's a little bit hard to see, I guess, because it's dark brown and it's a dark day. But this is the Acer cardigan. I showed it many times. It's a pattern by Amy Christoffers and it was quite a challenge by then. I never knitted cables, I never knitted lace. I had no idea how the construction worked. But I have a cardigan. I saw it at one of my colleagues by then at school. She didn't make it herself, her friend did, and I also was inspired by her to pick the same yarn. This is one of the best yarns I knitted with, and I only knitted this one in, and it's just not, I can order it at the Dutch yarn shop, but that's apparently not in my system. It is Cascade 220, I think the non-superwash. And yeah, it stays so lovely. It hardly peels. I love the color. It's a little bit of a heathered brown. Yeah, I should order. I think it's a worsted weight or a heavy DK weight. Oh, there's a long hair in my cardigan as well. I'm also wearing my black hinterland dress. It's my newest dress and I love it. I want to wear it every day. I don't do that. Although every now and then I choose another dress, but most of the days I am wearing the black one. I just feel so good in black. But today we will not talk about black or other dark brown items much, because I have a very bright colored item. It's my finished object of the day. I finished it the day after Christmas, which we call second Christmas day in the Netherlands. And then my daughter went on a holiday and she brought it with her, and there was no time. It was really under pressure to finish it so she could bring it with her. There was no time for taking any footage, and we had quite a special week last week weather-wise. There was a lot of snow. We are not used to it, and there was also a problem with the planes and the trains and all the other traffic, but my daughter, she couldn't get home. So she was delayed a little bit, and when she finally got home there were very many busy days, so we still don't have any footage with her in the sweater. I actually just grabbed it out of her suitcase. No, she did it for me, so it's even a little bit crinkly, but it doesn't matter, it is finished. I also finished my sun sweater. It's right in front of me, the front porch sweater. It was quite a challenge this week. I finished it 3 times. I had many problems with knitting the ribbing at the body, but I finished it and it's drying right now, and I think it's good right now. I tell more about it in my Dutch episode, which you can watch with subtitles. I skipped the audio. I skipped the automatically generated voiceover. I'm sorry if you enjoyed it, but I received so many confusing comments about it, and it has all to do with your own settings. And I was thinking what to do with it, and I decided for now I just add subtitles. And yeah, I don't like the voiceover myself. I don't watch my own videos, so I'm not really bothered by it, but it's pretty weird. My authenticity is very important for me. So yeah, I can imagine it's more easy to listen to an English voice than to a Dutch one, but it is what it is. There will be no voiceovers. It was never my plan. YouTube just did it, but yeah, I don't know. It's causing a lot of confusion. But subtitles there are. You can find them. If your language is not available, please leave a comment or send me a message, and I will check if I can add it. Okay. So the front porch sweater is right there, and I hope I can tell you more in next week's episode, because it is a lovely, lovely sweater. Yeah. Okay, my finished object. The Towns sweater. Ta-da! It's quite out of my comfort zone color-wise. It's very bright, it's very pink. It has darker pink and light pink and purple stripes. I will tell you more about the yarn in a minute, but let me start with the pattern, because it is the Towns sweater, which I already had in my library. It's a pattern by Ozetta, and this sweater, which is light grey, looking a little bit weird in the light, but it's made by my youngest daughter. A very lovely sweater. She doesn't like it, but I love to wear it actually, although it's not my style at all. Every now and then I really love to wear it. So this is a very basic pattern, and when my other daughter sent me some pictures from out of the store, you have those little cabinets. In Dutch we call them pashokjes, where you can change, where you can try some garments on, and she was trying, there are mirrors of course, and she was trying a sweater on herself, and she took all the pictures and asked me, can you knit such a sweater? So I was a little bit shocked by the colors, but I think, yeah, I can manage that. So it was very lovely, and because of the stripes, yeah, she was really precious in how she wanted them. I really love top-down dropped shoulder patterns, but quite often they have those increases at the shoulders, and it influences the way the stripes are going. And it can be a nice detail, but she was very clear, I don't want that, I want it exactly as the the sweater in the store. Straight stripes. So I found this pattern, and this is a bottom-up pattern. It's really easy. It's absolutely beginner friendly, and if you love an oversized, easy peasy dropped shoulder sweater, yeah, this is the one you are looking for. The original one has a little bit of a higher color. I don't know if you call this a mock color. It's not a turtleneck. A turtleneck is even higher. I think it's called mock. She didn't want it, so I just made a lower neckline, and yeah, it is absolutely perfect. It was exactly how she wanted to be, and believe me, that's quite a challenge with that girl. She's like her mom, I guess. So yeah, I was looking for the right yarn, because I was doubting a little bit about spending really a big amount of money on it, because yeah, I know my daughter. My youngest, she's really wearing my hand knit sweaters and her own hand knitted sweaters all the time. My other two children, their love is very it is coming, but it's a little bit smaller. So I was not sure what kind of yarn to use, and I thought she's very sensitive, but I think she's okay with more than I am thinking. And then I decided to use Drops Air. This is my basket where I kept my projects in. I never worked with Drops Air before. It's a very fuzzy, soft, lightweight yarn. It's a blown yarn. So yeah, can you see the threads? And I know it's quite popular I don't think I would ever pick it for myself, but for the girls, I bought a sweater quantity for my other daughter. It's still like this. I think it's pretty good. It is a combination of, let me see, baby alpaca and merino wool. I can't find how it's... 65% alpaca, 28% polyamide and 7% wool. Yeah, so the colors I could find were those two. This is color number 39, a very bright pink. I don't know, they have names as well, but I don't know the names. And this is color 53, a very soft baby pink. And they needed a purple stripe in between. But I couldn't find the right shade of purple in Drops Air, so I looked further in that web shop. I was buying in a web shop and I found this shade of purple, which was perfect, only it is a total different yarn. This is Drops Alpaca. I actually don't really like alpaca. It's too slippery for me. But the shade was perfect, and I thought it was a fingering weight, but it was more of a sport weight. I realized when I was adding all the details to my Ravelry project page. It's color 440, very purple, and I held it double. And I was pretty sure I would have enough with only one yarn ball, but I decided to buy two because I ordered it online and it would be, yeah, very dramatic when you just need a little tiny bit and you don't have it. So, yeah. The stripes were very, very nice to knit. I don't know if you have any experience with knitting stripes, but they are really addictive because it is actually quite a boring knit. You have the ribbing, which is 1 by 1, quite a big ribbing, and then you have yeah, quite some centimeters of only stockinette, and that can be very relaxing and the perfect project to bring with you. It's a mindless project for TV knitting or social knitting or whatever, but it is boring. I think it is boring. But when you add stripes to something, you knit to the stripe, and it's very addictive to just knit to the next stripe, and I can knit a little bit and then I am to the other stripe, and yeah, that's really nice and lovely. So I was having fun. I think I did six. I made a little mistake. It was my plan. The stripes were even, the pink and purple and the brighter pink, but I think I knitted the brighter pink stripes have 13 rows and the other stripe 6 to 6, so that's 14. It was actually my plan to only do 1 row of purple, but when I was knitting that was too small, so I added another row. So those stripes are a little bit wider, 1 row wider, 1 round wider than the bright pink, but I don't think that's a problem. It was a little bit of a challenge to decide where to start with splitting for the sleeves, because the stripes, they influence the look of your garment. When you have just one color, it doesn't matter, but now I decided to split for the sleeves in the middle of this stripe because I didn't want to do it right there. And it worked out, the length worked out pretty good. I will tell you all the details in a minute. And then also for the neckline, it was quite a challenge because yeah, I had to interrupt this stripe for the neckline. This was too early and this was too late, so I decided to do it this way. And I think, although I don't really like that there's only a little bit of this, I think it's okay. I think it worked out. It was the best option. Yeah, and then the stripes for the sleeves, I did some decreases. Oh, I didn't write that down. I don't know what the pattern is telling you. The sleeves, they could be, it was okay for them to stay quite wide, but I added a decrease at the beginning of every stripe. So there's a decrease right there, the bigger stripes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, I think 8. I think 8 decreases. That's something is resonating in my head, in my brain memory, which is not big. Yeah, so it was really an endless knit actually, because it was quite a tight gauge. It took me forever. I started on November 20. It was actually my plan to finish as well my son's sweater as my daughter's sweaters before Christmas. I didn't make it. I don't know. I don't even think I could make it, but I was distracted by other fun things, crocheting Christmas bubbles, which I absolutely didn't need. But I didn't need the end result. But I did need the process. So I didn't make it at all. But I finished it one day after Christmas. So I'm happy with that. Yeah. Maybe I can put it on. I think it will be the only moment you see me in such a bright sweater, and also how the sweater fits is not, although the grey one was surprising, it is not my style, that's quite obvious. So let me put the camera a little bit. It is actually feeling really as a cozy sweater. It is very soft. I can cuddle myself. It's very, maybe I do like alpaca. Maybe. It's feeling very nice. And yeah. I think pink is making you happy. I learned that the color pink symbolizes self-care and self-love, so everyone should have something pink in her wardrobe for those days when you need a little bit of self-care and self-love the most, as an emergency garment. And also on your needles, have something pink on your needles every day, always. Yeah, so okay. When I started swatching for this sweater, I made this swatch and I showed it to my daughter, and she said, that's quite a loose knit. And I don't know if you really can see it. Let me... I actually didn't measure the gauge. So I don't know what the difference is, but she said that's way much looser than the sweater I saw in the store. And I realized, oh, you want me to knit a machine knit gauge sweater? And she said, yeah, I think I want that. So in the beginning I thought, no way I will do that. That's way too tight. But I started to swatch on smaller needles. And this is my other tiny swatch. And she said, yeah, I love that. I love the thickness of the fabric. It's way better. So I knitted on, let me check my notes. I just updated my page in my project book. Oh, this way. So I knitted the stockinette part on 3.25 millimeters, and actually drops air 5mm needles are recommended. I'm a loose knitter, so I always go down one needle size, so I would knit it with 4mm needles, and I think that was the needle I used for my first swatch, but then I started on 3.25mm needles and I got a tighter gauge, and I must confess it was actually quite nice. It feels really nice. It's a warm sweater. It's a superwash yarn, but yeah, I'm not disappointed at all. For the ribbing I used a 2.75mm needle. It's just a 1x1 rib. And normally I go up a 1 needle size for the sleeves because it's a smaller circumference. It works out better for me, but I didn't do that with this one because my 3.5mm needles were knitting other projects, and also I thought I wanted as tight as possible, so it was okay. It was quite a challenge to get the jogless stripes, and it didn't always work out, but at some point I was actually alternating different ways. I was trying one way and then I thought, no, this is not nice, and then I did the other way, and you have several methods, but getting it totally jogless. Yeah, I don't know if that's even possible, but it's okay. It's only at the sleeves and at the side. I think at this side. This part. So it's not bothering at all. So let me see, I used, this sweater, the total, I knitted, let's start with the beginning. I knitted size 6. The pattern, according to the pattern, you will have a bust circumference from 138 centimeters. That was more than I wanted. I wanted a bust circumference around about 120 centimeters, but because my gauge was so tight, I decided to go up one size from my original choice, and it worked out pretty good because it is 120 centimeters. Pattern's gauge is 70 stitches, 28 needles, and Sarah's gauge is 20 stitches and 31 needles, so it's not really a big difference. My body part is 37 centimeters. I really love to write it down this way because I can imagine this is really a sweater I would make another time for her in another combination, another, maybe the same yarn, but other colors, maybe a little bit of color work. It would really be fun, and this model really works out good. So writing down all the measurements really helps me. From top to bottom it is 55 centimeters and the sleeves are 45 centimeters. I think I told you everything. Yes, I did. So I have a little bit left. I had no idea how many yarn to buy. So I have a little bit left. Oh, on my Ravelry page you can see how much I used exactly. I think I needed 5 balls of the main color, but I have a little bit left, and I needed 3 balls of the soft pink and only 1 of this one. My mom knitted something for my sister in Drops Air as well, and I know my sister ordered some colors, some brighter colors for her daughter, for my little niece. So maybe we can make a mix-up, or maybe I can make an accessory that can also be fun for the girls. Yeah, it's okay. I don't mind to have leftovers in my stash. They are perfect for some scrappy playing. Okay, so yeah, the town sweater, very bright, very pink, very happy that my girl is happy. And yeah, I think when knitting is your love language, it's really very, very, very special when your loved ones appreciate your love language. And I know a lot of people don't like hand knitted items, and that's okay. And also my family, for quite a while, they always appreciated what I was doing, but they didn't really feel the need to own the hand knitted stuff themselves. But it is changing, and I'm really excited about, and I'm quite happy that they are changing now and not a few years before, because I could knit all the things myself, for myself. And now I have a lot of knitted garments. I can spend more time on knitting things for my family members, and that's really special. Yeah, so yeah, that was it for this one. I absolutely recommend the pattern. It's very clear, it's very easy. It is a bottom-up pattern, but I love it, and you can play with the colors. Yeah. So, okay. Last week I ordered a new book. I was watching the episode of another Sarah, Sarah from Sweden, Miss Wahlgren makes. I really, yeah, I don't know, she's so calming, and I really am impressed by her knitting all the time. I really love all her projects. I love her style. So I was watching her podcast last week, and she knitted some items from a specific book, And I thought I need that book. I need that book too. I couldn't find it in a yarn shop, but we have other online shops where you can order books. So I did do that. It's from Birger Berge. I actually didn't know him, but I think he's quite a well-known designer from Denmark. I think he was from Denmark. But no, Norwegian. It's a Norwegian designer. Oh, I don't know. I didn't the preface, I didn't have the time to read the preface, but I immediately knew I wanted the book, and the reason why I wanted the book was the bottle cover. I saw the bottle cover at Sarah's podcast, and yeah, in her colors, she was making it with Ride and Wet, and with Ride and Wet, with red and white in Christmas colors. And I want to use other colors, but I definitely knew, I immediately knew that I need such a bottle cover in my life. And there was more. And when I received the book and I did a quick look, I saw this sweater and I thought, oh, and I don't think I want to make the raglan sweater. Sorry, my light is interrupting. But I really love it. It was such a fun book. There are lovely designs in it, and I definitely will knit something out of it. One day, don't ask me when, but one day I will. So Sarah, I have no idea if you watched this part of the episode in which I mention you, but thank you for your wonderful inspiration and for your wonderful podcast. And if you don't know Sarah already, please check her out, because maybe you will like her too. I will link her down below. And last Saturday was a fun day, because my local yarn shop in the city center moved to a new location, and they were closed for more than a month. And last Saturday they reopened, and they have a perfect spot in a very lovely street. It is actually quite a quiet, calm street, but it is in the middle of the city center. It's on the other side of the street, which is very close, is a hotel. So if you ever are thinking of staying in Breda, my hometown, you can book a hotel next to the yarn shop. You can sleep next to the yarn shop. Woolly dreams, I think that would be lovely. So the opening was last Saturday, and I visited the shop with Geraldine and Sophie, her daughter, with a friend, and there were a lot of lovely knitters, and it was so much fun. It was a beautiful shop. She added quite some nice yarns to her assortiment. Is that also a word in English? She has now Isager Jensen, Isager Tini, and she also will start selling the Lopi yarns, and she has Schoppelwolle right now. And I think this is one of my favorite sock yarns. I really love the hand-dyed sock yarns. I'm stumbling over all the words. I'm sorry. But I really love the Zauberballe. I am pretty sure it's from Germany. I have a Zauberballe Sterke 6. It's a little bit of a sport weight. And I also have this one. It's a Zauberball Crazy. That's a fingering weight. And I was surprised because it's the colorway Late Autumn. And I already have Late Autumn socks. Those are my friendship socks. And I don't know if I can show. They are on my feet right now. So let's see if we can do that a little bit decent. They are quite dark. Balancing on one leg, showing your socks, is actually good exercise. Yeah, so last year I knitted socks together with my friend. She is a beginner knitter, and she bought the yarn for me and yarn for herself, and I made the toes and the heels and the cuffs, and she knitted the rest of the socks. And it was also late autumn, but I didn't recognize the colors because they are looking so different on this yarn ball. And that's the fun thing of the Schoppel Zauberballe. The color changes. You can see the yarn, and one of the plies is changing, and it gives a really nice mild color effect, never boring to knit. So yeah, I bought those. Actually, for my husband, he loves wearing my hand knitted socks more and more. So even his love for my hand knits is growing. So my love for him is also growing. No, it was already big. But my love languages, I only have one. My love language, knitting socks. No, I have two. My other love language is talking. But I think my husband, he prefers the knitting. Just stop talking, just knit me my socks. Yeah, so I think I will make them both. But I'm also considering making this pair for my friend. So we have, but I don't know if she loves the colors. Nah. It is nice. It is nice. So I filmed a little bit of the store in my Dutch episode, but I was really messing up with my camera. So I thought I was filming all the time, but I didn't. So I will visit the shop next week again, and I will make some better content. Yeah. So yeah, I am almost done. I almost finished my Advent project, which is really exciting for me because, yeah, I think you will understand if you see it. It is special in so many ways for me. And I will share all the details when it's finished. I hoped I would have finished it today, but because I had some troubles finishing my son's sweater, it was delayed. And I will definitely finish it this week. And I didn't share anything about it, yeah, just for fun. And also with a reason, but I will tell all the details later. But I realized I'm knitting in a hyper focus for more than 3 weeks now. I started with knitting in a hyper focus with this one, and then with the front porch sweater for my son, and then the Advent calendar, the Advent project. And although I love knitting in a hyper focus every now and then, 3 weeks in a row, oh, I don't want to do it anymore. I really want to share my knitting time over all the projects everywhere. I really love to work on all the projects at the same time, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and every now and then the hyper focus to finish a project with a deadline. I think that's fun too, but not 3 weeks in a row. I'm working on one project all the time, and yeah, so I need my last bit of self-discipline to finish my Advent project. I hope I can finish it tomorrow or maybe Wednesday. And then I can play again. So I'm looking forward to that too. So it's actually pretty warm, this sweater. I had no idea Drops Air was such a warm yarn. Yeah, so this was it for this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I hope you will have a lovely week with a lot of heart jumping moments. If you can't find them, create them because we need them. Bye bye.